Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about one of the best matches that I think I've seen so far. While it wasn't really as entertaining as much, it was a really good tactically involved map. Uh, it is Loud defeating Optic and sending them to the lower brackets, and the Brazilians have made themselves a spot in the grand finals. And while it is honestly amazing to see them come through after all the Brazilian teams that we've seen, Furia, Vikings, whatnot, I think that Loud has done a great job of realizing where they can go wrong and immediately working upon it, adapting on the go, and that's exactly what they did against Optic in their upper bracket final. While they did lose Fracture, Optic read them perfectly, did get a map into where Loud absolutely had no control. They had a very weird composition as well. They went for a double controller plus a race comp on Fracture, which I didn't really understand. But hey, nonetheless, they made it back on the scent. Their map, they were very confident. And on Icebox, they took control of anything and everything that we can see to be what an Optic game could have turned out to be. But Loud immediately realized how they can adapt better and on the go. And honestly, this was the showcase of that. So starting off the game, we're going to be talking about the first pistol itself. And honestly, the pistol of Loud has been something that they were a little, inconsistent in, and I think that they've improved quite a bit, and to go head to head on a pistol against one of the best teams like Optic has given them quite a bit of confidence, and you will see why. If you look at the beginning stages of this round itself, you can see that there is a retake wall that is being played on A with a single player that is going to be playing over there, and that is the chamber. Victor does go in towards mid and gets a lot of information, and the one more thing that they've done is that they've walled off B main. So Optic have enough information and know exactly where their opponents are going to be hitting, but they have a little bit of issue with them attacking mid. Now in the pistol, usually mid is left a little empty, but then Optic know how the side of Loud are going to be playing. So that's why we've got the Viper situated here. We've got the Sage looking up towards, B main. And they've got two people on kitchen as well, and leaving Ye alone on A with the retake. So he can even teleport away if he needs to. But they don't care about this. Loud just want to get into B. And here's where things get very interesting for, this pistol round. They've changed their way they go in. They can hear that there's three people going in, right? You can Victor and Crashies both are around this corner. The minute Crashies sees that there's a wall put in towards mid, he tries to go into kitchen as soon as possible, and Victor has the opportunity to try and get a couple of kills. But the problem here is he has already spotted Pancada with the recon over here that has come through thanks to Crashies. But the problem with this is Victor gets focused on Pancada, and he actually gives up the control in towards tunnel, while he expects his teammate to come and take care of it. And this fight right here between Marved and Pancada should have been won by Marved because he's in the better position. Pancada wins it in that far of a range with a classic against a ghost. And, Victor gets a little sidetracked with that. Then he comes in, Crashies comes in, and he's holding the shock dart in his hands because he thinks that they're still yet to come inside tunnels, but they've already reached kitchen here, and Victor does not relay that, I think, during communication. While the trade comes in, Aspas takes him out, and Victor's caught in a very weird position, and he's caught between Sadak, Aspas, and Les. And at the same time, in the B main side, FNS has been detected due to a recon dart. Pretty simple. I don't know how he let himself fall prey to that. But a great pistol round overall, because they were able to isolate this area completely all by themselves. They didn't even need to attack B main heavily. They were coming in late. They had just kitchen and the mid region hit, which worked out perfectly for them because Crashies was caught off guard. Victor was in a very weird position and had no cover to get back to, and the Viper died very early, which means they had absolutely no control of the game either. FNS could do nothing, just standing behind yellow, so he was obviously going to be a prey to the B main hit, and that was how the pistol round improvement from the previous games that we've seen from Loud has come in, and they're also going to be winning the next one, which is one of the rounds that we're going to be talking about. So the next round we're going to be talking about is round number 9. Now, I was a little confused about the approach of Optic in this because it's about 10 seconds into the round, 15 seconds into the round, and you can see that this is a clear B hit, which, Optic have understood. We see FNS tucked into this corner and Victor's along with him here. But the problem about this attack is they're separated by a Viper's wall. Now, this Viper's wall actually, becomes their demise because FNS has no support. He doesn't have the support of Victor, who's just jump peeking this angle, right? Now, what happens over here, I think, is probably, again, a little bit of miscommunication. While FNS does get one kill, Victor cannot see where his opponents are yet because they're still behind the wall here. And FNS, while rotation, trying to get away, does go down. And at the same time, he's trying to cover fire here, but Victor gets nothing because he has no vision whatsoever. He's being kept busy by the Viper wall, and now somehow, I don't know why, Victor does not expect that somebody's walked in through towards the right side. He's just jumping over here, and well, a free kill has been given. The B side is empty, and this is exactly what we need to keep in mind. The Viper's pit comes into play, and this is actually the win condition of the round, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Sadak over here caught in a very awkward situation where he did turn around for a second towards, Rafters on mid, but he turns around to get a good kill towards Marved and somehow survives. And now they know the position. Now they're sandwiched, and what he needs to do right now, Sadak, is just stay alive. But he finds a little bit of a timing aspect, thinking that, okay, you know what, I can actually go get these kills. They're moving in towards kitchen, but it is a 4v3 right now, essentially, right? And Sadak has got support coming in from here. I don't know what it made him choose to peek over here, thinking that he could do it. But thanks to the Viper's pit and the time that was running away, Ye and Crashies cannot go into this site, and think that, okay, first we have to find the Viper, we have to find the Sova, and then we have to, get this insane screen down and not let ourselves decay into damage and then die. So they instantly choose to save. Crashies is just throwing in a little bit of, covering fire, maybe get a free kill. But here comes the backstab, which Sassy kind of misses, but makes up for it from the shock dart. Now, this overall was a round that I didn't really think that should have gone this way, because overall, if you look at the scenario, they had control of mid, they had control of B main, but what Optic did wrong was the B main aggression that they had, even though they've heard that there are players on the other side. And this wall cut off Victor and FNS, which means they had no vision as to who's watching what, even though they are on comms. And the problem with this is Victor had no vision. He was just spamming through. That's it. And their Viper, Les, had already made his way here. And while he went, he got the kill onto FNS, Victor had no clue that it was actually from this side. He thought he spammed him through this wall. And FNS somehow didn't convey that. Forgive me. My eraser's not working. Yeah. So FNS did not convey that. I don't know what exactly went wrong, but Victor was just jumping around like a little boy, and well, he got punished for it. And that was how Loud actually secured a very, very convincing half in the first half. They did get a 7-5, which could have been a lot further. Looking at the scoreline right now, they did go up 7-2, and they gave up 3 rounds in concession. And now, while that was a thing, let's go to the attacking half and see how Optic come so close to making it work, but eventually the lack of a duelist gets them the loss. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is actually one of the most amazing pistol rounds I've seen so far in the VCT Masters. I think that the way Loud move around their entire map awareness situation, where they know how to approach where they've got Optic currently situated and how they can pressure them, is just brilliant. And their utility usage on this is top class. This is high class Valorant pistol rounds right here. Now, you can see that Optic are huddled up towards the B main side, and they've got a lurk coming in from Marved. Now, the problem here is, while they've got this setup ready and they do get information about the players as well, they still fall, and you're going to see why. There goes a recon, there goes, even the KO knife, which, it should give them enough information. So the drone goes through, they spot out less over there, and here goes the knife as well, as you can see. And because it falls on top of yellow, they know that somebody's on top, which is probably going to be Sadak. So the kill comes through for Sadak, and Crashies has been damaged just about a bit. Sadak gets a kill, and he's also got Ye down to about 22 HP. So that's quite a bit of damage being given. While all of this is happening, Optic have lost a man, and they have got one man now lurking in towards A, hoping for a push. Now here's where you need to pay attention, right? There is the drone coming out from there is the drone coming out from Sassy. And this is a very important drone because this is the point where Optic have chosen to let go of B, let Ye be a little bit of a menace here, selling a fake, while they have a rotation go through, because Marv has already tried a little bit of control, but he's not got much information, so they just walk through. And here's where you need to keep an eye on Aspas. Now this, guys, one bullet changes the entire game. Just one bullet. Aspas is holding down the cross, which means that they know that A is not being hit, and that's why they're being this passive about it. They don't really need to go, and there comes the hit. They've seen Marved as well. Now that drone which was sent here was very aggressive. Even though it was sent from here, it just traveled all the way through and it tagged Marv, which means that Optic are now confused whether how much of A is actually available to them. So they hold back. FNS is low, and he's got about a couple of seconds left for his heal to come back. And at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, look at the clock. It's about 50 seconds left, right? Quite a bit of time. But what Optic do here is waste a lot more time. They look towards mid, hoping that they could catch Aspas out of position, but he knows better than that to play. About 10 seconds are wasted, 15 seconds almost, for FNS to get his heal so that they can actually cross over safely. They're afraid of, Aspas speaking, as well as the smoke to come up from Marved. Now they move in towards A, but the problem here is there's about 30 seconds left, and the Sage Wall, which has been held on for so long, comes in. And this Sage Wall slows them even more. 20 seconds left on the clock, and the minute the Sage Wall is being broken, one slow up for Pankara to slow them more. The Viper's Wall comes in, a second slow up being thrown, 15 seconds left on the clock, and at the exact moment when they know that Optic are going to be running in towards this side, which I honestly did not understand why was it all in the same direction, because the one shock dart from Sassy destroys them completely. All of them fall to less than half HP, and this shock dart gives them as much damage as they need. Sassy and Pankara double peak. There's no way they're escaping there. And Optic fault a brilliantly executed utility-based pistol. Amazing work here. The wall to give them damage. The shock dart gives them damage. It's just all round such good usage of utility. The slow up slow them down. The wall has kept them at bay. Brilliant stuff from the side of Loud to win the pistol. The only thing I did not understand was why Optic all opted to just move in from A main on this one corner, while one of them could have actually come in over here, taken a fight, or even, just caused a little bit of distraction towards the other side of Fortin. While this was all happening, I was still wondering, watching this live, that, this is kind of a little bit an interesting position that Optic, have played a patient game over here, but wasted unnecessary time to just get themselves through from mid and confused about where they want to hit. That ends up blowing up in their own face. So the last round we're going to be talking about, ladies and gentlemen, on Loud's defense is the final round of the game, right before we would have probably hit overtime, but it didn't happen because Loud secured a flawless round here, which honestly worked amazing for them. Now, you need to keep in mind that this one ultimate that Crashies has is gonna work to Optic's advantage and also disadvantage at the same time, and you're gonna see why. Now this is the final round, and you can see the setup of Loud. They've got pretty much the same, except the fact that they've sent Aspas over towards A, and he's gonna be taking care of this region. We've got Sadak with the operator on top, as well as Les here, who is absolutely the star of the show in this game. He was just bonkers. Look at these numbers, ladies and gentlemen. 33, 13, 17 years of age. This guy absolutely destroys Optic. Now, you're going to see why this round is probably the most important, because Loud had the lead. I think they were about 12 and 8 up, and they gave away rounds consecutively. They gave away 3 rounds consecutively, and it was a very high pressure situation here. They needed to win this round, and Optic were looking for a B hit. And as you can see from their setup, it is obvious because they've got both A main sides of openings covered up with the traps. And now you can see that there's shock darts being put in towards tunnel so that they can take out the chamber trademark being kept over there, but it's not going to touch that because they've got it on the right side corner, cheeky little corner, and they've got even They've got Pankara looking over that region. They try another shock dart here and an early slow orb as well while they've got this covered. The drone comes in, it spots out Sarak, and now Les has also been spotted as well as given damage a little bit to Victor. Now, here's where things get very interesting for us because they immediately go back. They try multiple fakes. Optic are trying multiple fakes here, but a little too early. One of them has been spotted towards mid, and Ye is having a look towards tunnels, expecting a push to come in. It's not going to be the case. Now is where it all works out for them. They have the one person who's going to be making the difference here, Crashies, as well as Marved, who is just constantly firing down over here to try sell the fake. The ultimate comes through right about now to cause chaos or to give the idea of chaos being caused. There is a recon that goes through to give that, thinking that somebody's going to run in. The rotation does come through and it works in their favor. This is where it does work, but here's where it's not going to work. All of them don't fall for it. The Viper wall goes up. Sadak is ready for this. And this is where the lack of duelist catches them off. The problem with this is, ladies and gentlemen, the one person who peaks up first is the one person who actually should have stayed at last. He's the one person who should have stayed at last. Marved. And he is the only controller on the team. He's the one who's going to give his team the cover that they need. But he walks right into Sadak's crosshair. Easy kill. Cover goes down. Les takes care of the plant coming through even if the wall goes through. Perfectly timed snake bite. So it doesn't even allow them to get through. And at the same time, he's breaking down the wall as well. Now, Victor, I don't know what he was thinking at this point. He could have just waited for his team to come in together, try to get a plant right here. But he goes for an aggressive peek and Sassy takes him down pretty easy. And at this point, Loud force Optic to take a plant in a very open space. And while Sassy takes out the fight over here, Optic choose immediately to go in for this fight. But the problem here is, there's 4 players here and they've got only 2 players fighting this. Ye is looking in this direction and he misses a shot onto Pankada, who just obliterates the entire team after that. 1 peak, 2 peak, 3. Everyone goes home and goes home free. That was an amazing round executed by Loud, and this is what got them to the grand finals. An amazing showcase of skill from them. That round was perfectly executed. The way they held on to their ground, the fakes, the multiple fakes from Optic did come through. Even with an ultimate, they had to fake with an ultimate to try and fool Loud, but it was not the case. Sarak and Les held their ground. They knew what Optic were going to do, and that 1 kill onto Marved changed the entire game, from it going to overtime to them becoming grand finalists. And that is how Brazil have made history in VCT Masters.